After studying anthropography and the entire Anthropic team, I've been obsessed with building my own self-improvement knowledge base inside of my Claude Code system. So finally, now we can have our knowledge base here can run on a schedule to self-improve by itself to basically syncing our context without us having to manually prompt it. So that's why in this video, I'm showing you exactly 4 steps on how I set it up, what are the prompts that I use, and also the biggest lesson I learned from building this entire system myself. So with that being said, if that sounds interesting, let's get into the video. Now, before we continue, I recently launched our Skool community where I help you to master AI agents, automations, and building real AI products. This is coming from someone who used to work as a senior AI software engineer at companies like Amazon and Microsoft. And in this community, you are going to get full AI builder roadmap where you're going to start with AI automations, then later on moving into AI agents, research systems, SaaS buildings, and eventually how to productize and market your AI skills. You're going to get the templates, workflows, weekly live calls, and direct community supports. So when you get stuck, you can ask questions and get help right away. And the goal here is not just to watch more videos. It's actually build, post your progress, get feedback, and start to level up. So if you're interested, make sure to jump right in, start the first course, and I'll see you in a community. Now, the first step we're going to do here is to creating our knowledge base folder. This folder right here is going to be the folder where we're going to store all our data so that we can have our AI agent here to enhance it over time. And this concept here is actually introduced by Ingest here on X for his large language model knowledge base concept. And the concept here is very simple. We have our knowledge base folder, and inside of that, we have our raw folder and our wiki folder. The raw folder here is going to be containing all the unprocessed sources, like transcripts or PDF files or any kinds of raw information that we inject into the knowledge base. And then we have our wiki folder here, where we're going to have large language model here to synthesize what we have inside of a raw folder. And it could also referencing files that we have inside of raw folder here so that large language model here index it so it knows exactly where to look. And you can think of this wiki folder here is going to be a place where large language model here is going to use to basically try to look for information based on what you're asking for, right? Every time you ask a question about your knowledge base, it's going to look at this wiki folder right here to find the answer because the wiki folder here is going to index everything that you ingest into the knowledge base. And then furthermore, we also have our Claude.md file or our agents.md file, depends on if you're using Claude or any other agents. And that file here is going to containing the master instructions on how AI agent here is going to interacting with your knowledge base. But the most important part that everyone else online doesn't speak about is everyone's knowledge base is really different. You can see here that I have my knowledge base here, which contains business, personal, research, and I can have different things, right? Still, I can have my raw folder inside of it, but I can have my wiki to be named like business, personal, research, right? These are all wikis that are referenced to a raw folder instead of our knowledge base, right? So the concept is the same, is we have a raw folder, which contains all the files, all the raw files in there. And then this folder right here is basically the wiki that we have our large language model here indexed from our raw folder, right? And you can see here that I put it inside of our workspace OS because I have my own Eric Tech OS folder, which is a single master folder, which contains all the folders, all the projects that I'm currently working with, including the knowledge base, the content creations, or maybe a coding development folder, which contains all the projects that I'm currently working with. So the customization here is not limited to just only like raw to wiki, but you can also be able to customize it based on your needs. And here's the prompts that you can set up the entire knowledge base folder. And I'll make sure to put this inside of our Skool community for this entire classroom, where you can actually be able to check it out and download the prompt and pass it to your large language model here to set up this knowledge base folder inside of your existing project or a brand new project that you have. All right, so once we have our knowledge base set up, the next thing we're going to do here is basically ingesting data or uploading data into the knowledge base. And for that, we're actually going to be using our large language model here to do so. Simply just going to open your Claude Code, right, pointing to the knowledge base folder and have it to basically communicate it. For example, let's say if you have a meeting note somewhere and you just drop it into your large language model and you just tell your large language model here to ingest that into your knowledge base. But however, though, you have to prompt it. So instead of just prompting every single time to basically ingest it, tell it exactly where to go, like go into the raw folder and eventually here put it into the wiki folder. And eventually, if we want to query this information, it's going to look through the wiki folder here to actually find information. And this repetitive process for putting the same prompt over and over again, we can actually go to package everything here into a skill. And for that, here you can see this is the entire prompt where you can pass it to your large language model here to creating this ingesting skill, where the skill here is called ingest, where you can simply just going to take any file here, any informations, block of text, markdowns, PDF files, images, whatever it is, just drop it in, trigger that skill, and then it's going to basically ingest that into our knowledge base. All right, so now you know exactly how we can set up our folder structures, and having Claude or our AI agent here to basically communicate to your knowledge base and just interacting with your knowledge base, right? Just inserting data or query information from that. So that's what we're going to take a look at is what are some data sources that we can actually be able to add into our knowledge base that we can actually be able to make our knowledge base here much more richer so that whenever we have our AI agent here to query things, it knows more about you. And the whole point here is that we want to make sure that our AI agents help us to make the right decisions, help us to give us the right response based on the context that we provide. And the more context, the more accurate context we provide, the higher the accuracy that AI agent here is going to provide to you, right? So let's take a look at what are some options here that we can actually do this. Now, the first option that we have here is Google Takeout, right? Let's say if you're using Google or Outlook or any other email service you have, right? You have your ecosystem where you have a lot of data in there. And what you can do here is that you can actually have AI here to download these things, right? Either you're using other AI tools like Gemini or Google accounts, Google Ads account, or any other information like your emails, you can have it to basically download that and just export that into your AI agents and have it to basically just converting that into a knowledge base that you have. That's the easiest way you can do this because these are the platforms that you're already using day to day, and you can actually be using this to feed it into your knowledge base. And the other option that we can have AI agent here to do is basically try to analyze our past session histories, right? Let's say you're interacting with Claude Code or Codex, and there's usually be a session history stored somewhere that your AI agent here can really take a look at it, analyze it, and suggest ways by finding reasonable patterns here from our past conversations and add them into our knowledge base. And these past conversations that we have, like for example, Claude Code, if you were to type in like /resume, you can be able to see the past session histories that we have. And we can be able to resume those conversations. So those are sessions that are stored in your local machine, and you can have your AI agent here to analyze those conversations that we have and try to process that in your knowledge base. And simply all you have to do here is just going to copy this prompt, paste it to your large language model that you're using, either Claude Code or Codex, and just going to have your AI agent here to analyze the past session histories that we have, and just going to take everything that we have and try to pass it into our knowledge base. For example, here you can see I'm on Codex, and here you can see this is the entire sessions that has analyzed from Claude and also Codex, and it basically has concluded these are the repeated workflows. That what we can do here is that we can be able to preserve them into our knowledge base, or maybe doing things like updating our skills, or maybe preserving those things into our knowledge base. So those are really good examples that you can start right now to building out your knowledge base. So data takeouts and session histories are all great ways that you can actually insert into your knowledge base. Now, what we can also do here is that you can also have your large language model here to connect it to your MCPs or any other skills that I can actually be able to pull from different data sources. For example, inside my Claude here, I can be able to connect this with my other connectors tools. So you can see that there's so many connectors that you can connect to that you can insert into your knowledge base, right? So simply just going to click on the browse connectors. You can see there's so many like Slack, Microsoft 365, there's Gmail, Notions, right? There's Slack, there's themonday.com, and so many more. Now, if you're currently using already, you can connect it to your large language model and just instruct your large language model here to call in those tools, extract those information that you've been using, and just going to ingest that into your knowledge base.
Before we move on to the next section, here's a quick shout out to Virlo. Here's the problem with using Claude for content research. Claude can help you write scripts, plan videos, and brainstorm angles, but if you ask it what is performing right now in your niche, it needs access to real social data. That is where Virlo fits into the workflow. Virlo is a social listening and analytics platform for TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and Meta ads. It tracks short-form trends, creators, competitors, outliers, hooks, hashtags, and performance patterns, so you are not guessing from a blank prompt. The workflow is simple. First, I connect Virlo to Claude through MCP, or use the API if I want a more technical setup. Then I can ask Claude something like, using Virlo, find the top performing video ideas in the AI tools niche from the last 60 days. Give me the hook, angle, platform, view count, and why each one worked. Now, Claude is not just making up generic content ideas. Virlo gives it live trend intelligence, and Claude turns that into something useful. Video concepts, ad scripts, carousel ideas, creator briefs, or a content plan. For example, if I'm building a video about Claude Code, Claude Cowork, or any AI productivity workflow, I can use Virlo to see which hooks are already breaking out across Shorts, TikTok, and Reels. Then I can ask Claude to turn those patterns into a script that fits my style instead of copying the original posts. That is the real value. Virlo becomes the social media brain, Claude becomes the strategist and writer. Together, you get a workflow where your content ideas are grounded in what is actually performing, not just what sounds good in a brainstorm. If you want to try it, sign up for Virlo, connect the API or NCP to Claude, and start asking what is working in your niche right now.
Okay, so at this point here, you can see we pretty much have our second brain. It's fully set up, right? We have our AI agents. This could be a Hermes agent, or you could just talk to your Claude or your codex agent here, and just having it to interacting with your context window, right? Or in this case, your knowledge base. So that's basically the full second brain setup. So the last part I want to talk about here is how you can be able to actually make it self-improving. How you can be able to have your second brain here to automatically fetching data on a schedule, right? That's the most important part, is how can we make it self-improving? And because in the previous section, we talked about like injecting different data sources, right? Like for example, Google Takeout or session histories, or even like using MCP here to collecting data from different third-party tools, right? What we can do here is that we can be able to have it to programmatically, right? Calling these third-party services, right? Or for example, like MCP services or a session histories that are stored constantly inside of your large language model, right? Let's say if you're using Hermes agents, well, maybe you just have it to aggregate based on the conversation histories and see what can be added inside of our knowledge base. If it's MCPs or third-party CLI tools or apps, we can just have our large language model here to making those calls, fetching the latest data on a cron job, and this way it's going to improve our knowledge base as we go. But at this point here, I highly recommend you just creating a workable skill, right? A skill that can actually teach how your AI agent here is actually go out and try to fetch those information using the previous prompt that I give you to creating those skills, right? Maybe you have a skill here that can basically fetching the past histories, or a skill here that can talk to different MCPs or CLI tools that basically communicate to apps you're working with already, and just fetching those information here and just going to trigger the skill that I talked about initially, where you're going to ingest that into knowledge base. And this is going to be really important because you need to have a proven workable skill so that you can be able to put it on a cron job schedule. Because without that, your AI agent here might give you errors, might inject it in the wrong things, and you really need to make sure that it is able to run. Make sure you're using the prompts that I give you to creating that right skills and having the skill here to actually inject the data for you, and you tested it, everything's working before you're actually going to set up the cron job here to actually set up the run. And if you want to set up like a daily cron job, what you can do here is that if you're using Claude, you can simply just going to go to cowork, and here you can see that there's a scheduled task, right? What you can do here is that you can create a new task and just going to create it with Claude. And what you can do here is that you can click on new task and click on create with Claude, or you can just set up manually. So create it with Claude, you simply just prompt it. You tell him what skills will be triggered in the cron job. So the skills that you just created, to pulling data from different sources, from different connectors, and try to ingest that into the right knowledge base that you have. And that's exactly what you're going to tell to Claude to set up the cron job. Or you can also set up manually here and tell it exactly, give it a name, give it a description, and also give it a detailed prompt. Now for the detailed prompt here, you can see I just basically wanted to go in the two-step process here. Simply, first of all, just going to creating the skill, right? So here you can see this is the prompt that I recommend, which you can be creating a project local skill called improving system. Before we're going to run this in a loop for a self-improvement, this is going to be the skill here that's actually going to improving our knowledge base. So I'm actually going to change the loop here. So this is going to be just a self-improving knowledge base right here. And essentially what it does here is that it's going to basically just run a self-improvement pass here across the entire system, review the entire knowledge base here, sync the session histories, existing skills, recent outputs, and also the available data ingest tools. So here you can see this is the script packet. You can basically just going to replace that with whatever skills that you have. For example, syncing the session histories or any MCP tools from different data connectors skills, or any project specific skills or data ingestion skills. Try to label them or try to mention the skills that with your name that you created. That's going to use here to actually be able to pulling from different data sources here and updating your knowledge base. And if a listed skill here is missing, note it, continue with the best available sources. Do not create a new connection here or use credentials without approval. So you can see here just in one pass, first is going to review the entire system. And then once it's reviewed the process done, then it's going to refresh the available context, right? Using the listed skills, the connectors, deploying the fresh data here with relevance, and try to sync the current knowledge base. And then try to find areas that we can improve the opportunities, like for example, any broken links, any stale data, anything that we need to actually be able to like remove, or in this case, resolve, right? And then for the parts that we're actually going to resolve here, we're actually going to put it in 3 sections. So one is auto apply. If it's a small, like low risk fix, we can just automatically apply. If it needs approval here, like a skill edits or a new skill candidates, we would definitely need to flag that so that we don't want to make sure to change it something behind the scene that we didn't even notice, right? So we want to make sure to label that for needs approval, and something that needs context here is like ambiguous decisions the agent cannot safely make alone. Then we definitely want to prompt it or trigger a user question here to basically clarify that. And finally, you can see that there's some additional rules. And here is end with my review, skills that I use, and also data for refresh. Okay, so essentially you can see that this is basically the self-improvement knowledge base skill that we're going to basically create. And once we create that skill, and what you can do inside of Codework here is that inside of the input box, you can just mention the skills that you have, right? For example, the skill that you created for the self-improvement skills, you're just gonna put that skill there and it's gonna trigger that. And before you actually set up for a cron job, making sure that you trigger the skill and it's fully working before you actually add this inside of your scheduled task for your AI agents. Okay, so you give it a name, description, and also the prompt, which will trigger the skill, and then you put it inside of the right project folder, and also setting up the permission here and the default models, as well as the frequency here. Once you set it up, you can just click on save, and everything's are all good to go. All right, so finally you can see that's exactly how you can set up your knowledge base and how you can make it self-improving. So lastly, what I want to talk about here is just a recap of all the steps that we covered in this video. So first of all, we want to set up the folder structure. So making sure that everything are all inside of the right structure for the folder. So that's going to be the place where we're going to have all the data here is to be kept and enhanced over time. And then the second step we need to do here is to building out the entire ingest skill so that we can actually be able to ingesting data into our folder, right, into our knowledge base so that we can be able to query the information and we can have our large language model here to summarize it, right? Either we can be able to use it to index it or using Obsidian here to open it. Then we need to have a way here to ingesting those data. So ingesting skill here is really important. And then furthermore here, we need to connect it to a different data source. So connect to data source right here. And essentially, we have mentioned things like MCPs, right? People to connect to different connectors, or you can think of like data connectors from different third-party tools, or things like your session histories, right? So those are all data that we can actually be able to download into your knowledge base here. And then furthermore, once we have our initial data set up, right, we need to actually have a self-improving system here that can actually go on setting up a cron job here to actually pulling data from different data sources here and improve it. So pull data, right? Pull data and plus review and also modify our entire knowledge base. So you can see here that that's exactly how you can set up your AI knowledge base here plus your self-improving loops. So pretty much that's it for this video. And if you do find this video, please make sure to like this video. And currently I'm still building out the level 3 AI research and knowledge base course. And this is just the level 1 or the section 1 of it. And I'm actually going to build out the entire course here very, very soon. So if you join our community, you'll be the first one to have access to this entire course. How you can set up your AI research and your entire knowledge base. So pretty much that's it for this video. If you do find this video, please make sure to like this video. Consider subscribing more content like this. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.